Hi, my name is Brian Henze, and we are from Team 9. We are presenting on Southwest and how they handle conflict. We're going to be presenting based on our consulting firm and how we believe that they should handle their conflict. Our group consists of me, Brian Henze, Caitlin Riley, Charlie Zettel, Hannah Brickner, Jenna Taylor, and Becca Sokoloff. I want to take you through a general outline of how our presentation is going to continue. I will be presenting our conflict and start on Cotters, and Charlie will also present on Cotters. Hannah will present the learning organization and leadership. Becca will take us through the organizational development, and Jenna will take us through the reasons for resistance and how Southwest will overcome them, and Charlie will wrap up a little bit. Southwest has always appealed to customers who fly based on their low cost and their high spirit. They are extremely innovative and attract loyal customers who are drawn to their kind of culture that they have presented. They do this by cutting out luxuries and keeping their costs low, but unfortunately by doing this, by cutting out the luxuries, they cut out a majority of frequent flyers and business travelers. So we are suggesting that they change their market more towards business travelers who are always going to be around, whereas the economy right now is really low, so people are not traveling as much or taking unwarranted trips. Business travel is really crucial to the airline industry for basically two major reasons. They are able to command a much higher price for their tickets. Other airlines have a majority of the business travelers on them because they are able to provide a lot of luxuries, and the business travelers are willing to pay the high prices. Business travel is really less elastic than leisure because business travelers have to travel rather than for leisure. Southwest currently does fuel hedging, but because of the economy, again, they are unable to continue this trend, so they will be having to increase their ticket prices anyway, or from now on, which will even more decrease their customers because their customers are basically attracted to this airline because of their low cost. So Southwest needs to attract more loyal professional customers, and or they will lose their share of the market. Now I'm going to introduce Charlie, who will take us through how Cotter represents our change model.
Thank you, Brian. I'll be going through Cotter's 8 steps. We believe the Cotter's 8-step change model was one of the best models to apply to Southwest and in general with a change. This model can be applied to many different situations, but we feel it specifically fits this situation best. And the first step in Cotter's 8 steps is establishing a sense of urgency. The first thing you want to do in establishing a sense of urgency is convince employees that this is one of the best ways to change. And usually a lot of the time people don't like change, but when you introduce it, you want to make sure they understand why you're doing the change and make them believe that it's the right change at the time. Also, you want to create a new atmosphere. You don't want everything to seem the same when there's change. When there's change, you want to make sure that people notice a difference every day so that they aren't doing things the way they used to. The second of Cotter's 8 steps is creating the guiding coalition. One of the most important things in change when you're going through is making sure that there's people there to implement that change every day, because it's very easy to go back to change, but what you want to do is make sure that you can keep going forward and not going backwards. It's very easy for people to go back in certain areas of change, and especially something like Southwest, and going back to old customers and focusing on their prior customers that they used to focus on. But what you want to do is focus on the change, which is business clientele, and make sure that they're the number one priority. You also want to make sure you establish identities for the guiding coalition. When you establish identities for these people, you want to make sure other people in the company and employees know who they are so that they can go to them when they have any questions about the change. Also, you want to prepare these leaders of the guiding coalition with tools to maybe answer any questions or take the company and its employees through tough times they might have with this specific change. And also, we feel it's a good idea to bring in external members to help with this change, people who have gone through the change before and can help the company on a day-to-day basis. Throughout the company, top to bottom, from upper level management to employees working on the airplane every day to in the terminal, you want to make sure everybody's on the same page, and people from the outside and the inside can work together to making sure that happens. And these two steps are part of Lewin's change model. Can anybody guess which part of the model it is? Yes. No, sorry. It's not part of the refreezing model. Anybody else? Yes. No, sorry, it's not the second either. It's not the changing model. Anybody else? Come on, guys. Yes, you in the back. Can you speak up, please? Yes, you're right. It's the unfreezing stage. Also, the steps 3 and 4 are a part of the unfreezing stage of Lewin's change model. The third stage is developing a vision and a strategy. When you develop a vision and a strategy, you want to make sure leaders have a great idea of this vision and they can make others believe in the vision on a day-to-day basis. Also, you want to make sure you carry out the strategy. On a day-to-day basis, it's very easy to go back to the way things were, just like I talked about before. But with this new vision and this strategy, it'll help keep people focused on the new change and focusing on the new business clientele. The fourth of Kotter's 8 steps is communicating vision of change and strategy. The first thing you want to do is make sure people understand the reasons for this change. Southwest has been a very successful company in their time and over the past decade or two, but you want to make sure that this change is for the best interest in the company and not just for now but for the future. And you want to make sure employees have time to respond and give feedback on the new change. And also, just as I said before, these are all part of Lewin's unfreezing stage. And now I'm going to introduce Brian with Kotter's steps 5 through 8.
Thank you, John. Kotter's 5th step is empowering broad-based action. We believe that Southwest will be able to do this by providing training sessions for the employees. Another thing that they could do is create all the changes in one airport and kind of have them as a model airport to base all their other airport changes off of. So other airports will be excited about going through the changes that this model airport has gone through. The 6th step is to generate short-term wins. They can do this by providing incentives for the employees, which will be discussed more later on. They can also, based on their model airport, they will be expanding the program to other states and airports. Kotter's 7th step is to consolidate gains and produce more change. They will be able to reassess their new spirit and make changes based on feedback that they've gotten back. They need to keep their old customers, but they also need to attract more loyal business customers to continue their success. The 8th step is to anchor the new approaches into the culture. They need to keep the implemented changes that they have just gone through. They can do this by creating a new marketing plan. They will continue their upbeat spirit marketing plan, but also have a side of professionalism. And they need to demonstrate to the employees that they have increased their profit and that they will be able to continue not having any layoffs based on any of the market conditions. Now I'd like to pass it off to Hannah, who will speak more. The second part will be in a different movie.